Hi guys, my name's Anna. I'm the founder of LLUMI. Thanks for coming to my channel. This is my first video, so forgive me if it's a little bit raw. I'll never edit or put filters on anything, but I guess you want to know what I'm doing on YouTube. My whole life I've been passionate about helping people kind of optimize their lives. I am a classic type A personality. I love things done perfectly, but I also love to get things done rather than letting perfectionism get in the way. So basically, LLUMI means live like you mean it, and my whole passion and purpose on this whole earth is to help people to live lives to their fullest potential. And often we get kind of bogged down in routine and ruts and habits that aren't really taking us in the place we want to go to. So this channel is kind of designed to help you get your shit together in a really practical way. I'm not very woo-woo. I do know that there are elements of mindset and things that can be adjusted and helped, but I'm all about kind of practical habits that are easy to set up and hacking your life to make sure that you have space to do the things you love, and how to just really enjoy the time that we have here. So if that sounds interesting to you, you're very welcome to subscribe. You don't have to, but I'm really happy that we've bumped into each other. So today's podcast is actually going to be about being or becoming a type A person. This is a really common thing that's thrown around, and I even identify as a type A because I like to get things completed. I feel really out of joint if things aren't neatly finished by the end of the day. And I know that that's kind of seen as a real perfectionistic tendency that's harmful to mental health in a lot of circles. But on the other hand, some of the best-selling books in the whole world are organization books, how to get success in your life. So I feel like we're getting really mixed messages on, whether it's valuable or not to be a type A perfectionist person who's really ambitious and gets things done. In particular, I think women are really discouraged from being type A. I'm not going to go down this whole rant thing, but the idea of if you're a mum especially, don't expect to get things done. Kind of expect life to be chaotic, always be behind the eight ball, always be tired, and don't really seek fulfillment. Because it's impossible. So I really don't like that message. And I think men get the message as well. Life's too chaotic to actually enjoy it. You've got to be this, this, and this, and just make sure you're covering the basics, because actually enjoying life is a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a fantasy, which I don't buy at all. So what I've managed to do over the past 13 years of having LLUMI is figure out the basics that you can habit stack, and I'll do another episode on habit stacking later on, but opening your mind to the fact that you aren't just a hot mess. No one is born disorganized, no one's born incapable. Mostly, obviously there are physical and mental disabilities that can put boundaries in the way of certain situations, and I'll acknowledge that openly, but I think we can really challenge the limits that have been put out there artificially. Thinking that having a healthy body is impossible as you age is a huge myth. It's obviously not true, because there are healthy people, and I don't think it should be the exception. So I'm really going to focus on kind of becoming a type A person in this episode, because a lot of people just want a little bit more organization and order in their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not something that's going to destroy your mental health. It actually frees up a lot of your mental health to have that calm in your mind of having things organized. And that's all I want to share today, and I'll give you a few things to do, but I'm never going to make these, little clips long. I'm a mum of 2 young boys who will probably storm in at any minute. I have a full-time teaching job. I tutor on the side for about 12 hours a week as well, and we do training with our kids. We are outside a lot. I live a really full and busy life, but I wouldn't say it's chaotic because I've put in these strategies that take care of my health, my home, my family, my relationships, finances, and like connection to myself as well. So kind of the big question I get from people is like, how do you fit it all in? And when you don't have it stacked and you don't have the strategies, you can't fit it all in. But what I want to do is share how I do it, obviously for free, because it's something I'm so passionate about. So I just kind of, I've always been scared to make a YouTube channel, and so I'm really challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone and share what I know, just in the hope of helping a few people. And that's the only reason why I'm here. If any of this doesn't help you, I'm sorry, but here it is. So the first thing, I guess, the first step of becoming more towards an orderly and organized person is to stop describing yourself to other people and to yourself as, disorganized. It's the first thing. It's one of the first steps is to start changing the language around who you are and what you do. So saying things like, oh, I'm just always late, or, I can't really commit to anything, nothing ever works out, or I'm way too busy, I don't have time. They're just kind of throwaway remarks, but they hold a lot of weight in your self-identity. So even just saying to yourself a few times a day, like, no, I'm really organized. Like, from now on, I'm just organized, or no, I'm always on time. It can change the way you expect things of yourself. And then obviously your practical stuff has to back up that claim. And that's where these next tips come into kind of play. And so if you want to have a notebook or something next to you where you can write things down and you can order it, probably a good idea if you're going to take some actionable steps, which I do recommend. So for me, I never feel comfortable or progressive if my physical space is chaotic. I'm married to a man who's ex-military, so we're lucky we share the same kind of vibe around our home. So I'm a self-proclaimed minimalist. I don't want to be dealing with loads of stuff in my day. We have what we need, and no matter, I think, how our financial situation is, we will still always have just what we use and what we need in our home. We like it to be very simple. It takes 20 minutes to fully clean our house, and it's organized as. So it just takes a whole load off. I've even designed courses online helping people to just only have what they need. It's kind of the opposite to the Marie Kondo. She's amazing, but it just gives you a list of what you actually need, so you can just pull those things out and get rid of the rest, because it's really quick that way, instead of holding everything and seeing if it brings joy. Is kind of the quick man's version of it. So the first thing that I would be looking at if you want to get your life organized is your physical space. Start small, do your handbag or your wallet, and then maybe if you have a car, just pulling everything out of the car, giving it a good clean, and then you just can maintain it. You don't have to do it over and over and over again. Then your underwear drawer, then your shirt drawer another day. So like just little things each day until your physical space is a lot more calm and I guess less chaotic. And it just, people say, oh, I don't have time to declutter my house. You set yourself 5 minutes, only 5 minutes to do one drawer, and you'll see how fast you can do it, and it just brings so much more calm. People say to me like, oh, I don't know why you clean your house every day. That's such a waste of life. But I probably spend the same amount of time tidying and cleaning my house as they do looking for something they've lost. So it balances out a lot, and I just feel super calm knowing that if someone wants to pop over from the neighbours or you invite people over for dinner at the spur of the minute, I'm not going to be like self-conscious at all. My house is always presentable. It's not an issue. So that's the first thing, is your physical space, I find, and work desk, everything, sorting that out. It creates some kind of physical clarity and reminder to yourself that you're an organized person. The second thing that I would then look at is finances. Obviously, the financial circumstance of everyone has been really different in the last few years because of COVID. But there's opportunity there to really look at your situation and to make concrete plans to eliminate any debt that you have, and savings goals, retirement plans, investments, and learning about money. So I'll do separate episodes in the future about all of these topics because there's so much to go into. But that's the other thing I think you'd want to be doing. So going through bank statements, getting rid of random subscriptions that aren't bringing you to where you want to be. So if you have a subscription to every single streaming service, think about how much time you want to be spending watching television anyway, or your computer or whatever, and see if that's something that actually aligns with who you want to be in the future. Maybe just selecting one or two that are really valuable to you, and you can save that money instantly. Renegotiating on any of your insurances, or consolidating debt if you've got multiple ones, getting rid of credit cards if you can. I know that's not easy. Just a bit of background, I've managed to pay off over $90,000 of debt in the last year being a teacher, and having a little side hustle. So I know I'm not an angel with debt. So I'm not one of those people that grew up being really responsible with money. It's a really hard lesson that I've had to learn over the last 3 years, to pay it all off and to sacrifice a lot and to be very smart, and being kind of patient in knowing what I should be doing with my money, but still living in the mistakes of my 20-year-old self who wanted to travel the world on credit cards. So I get you, we've been there, but there's a way out, and I really want to share some tips on how to do that, because I know that it's a horrible cycle to be in, and one that's easy to stay in. So doing some research on your finances, going into your financial accounts, making sure there's not silly payments going out for nothing, double payments coming out, cutting back on things that might be luxuries, because if you are in debt, you shouldn't really be going for luxury right now. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but it will help you get out, and then you can afford it later on without the stress. The other thing is, so we've got physical space, finance, physical fitness. I put on 23 kilos. I was a cute little size 6, size 8 after my second baby. I know, weird. And then I got into a very stressful job, put on 23 kilos, and didn't even recognize myself. Wasn't happy. It kind of affected my marriage and my relationships, my self-confidence, and my belief that I was capable of other things, which is really interesting. Obviously, beliefs in my own head. But creating habits out of the things you hate. So I did not want to exercise. I didn't like it. So I knew I had to put it into a habit, because then I don't have to think about a habit. So I found something that was supported by all the psychological hacks. So community, daily habit, easy to fit in at the same time each day, and affordable. So I just joined this local gym that has a different class, but at exactly the same time every day, very early in the morning. So I couldn't even think about it. And so I've lost, I think, 14 kilos so far. I've got about 6 to 9 to go. I always allow fluctuation, because you never know. If you put on muscle, it's different with weight. But I'm really happy with the health that I've got just by putting in that little habit. And I know exercise is a sticking point for a lot of people, as is food consumption. So again, I'll do a little thing on that. I'm sure I'll do a few on that. But yeah, I really want these to be a bit more of a chat and very real and grounded in very real examples. But yeah, so if you can get your physical fitness, your finances, and your physical space, that's 3 huge blocks of organization in your world, I guess, that can be calm. The next is really relationships, and scheduling time in. So with partners or children, friends, flatmates and workmates, working on building those. And we'll cover that as well, building some skills around that and habits. Again, I think we're kind of told that relationships should come easily, and should just flow if they're right, which completely ignores that you are two wholly different people growing at different times, having different experiences, backgrounds, beliefs. So yeah, I think there's a lot to talk about there and investigate together. Obviously, I'm no expert, but yeah, we're going to investigate it. So basically, the train of thought is I'm going to show you how to hack your habits so that you have the most important things covered every single day within a very short period of time, and you can kind of bookend your days with really good mornings, really good evenings. I never give a program or a recommendation that takes longer than 2 hours in the morning, including exercise, so that's like half of it, and longer than 30 minutes in the evening to make your whole life incredible, and never have to worry about forgetting things, being disorganized or late. So yeah, you can learn to become type A without being like neurotic. So just being known as an organized person to yourself and other people, it's a learnable skill. And I don't like that you're told that you're just a hot mess or you're chaotic, or if you have ADHD you can't be organized. It's just not true. Okay, our brains are built for habits, they're built for routine, so you can really hack that, and I want to show you how so that you can relax a little bit and enjoy your life a bit more. So I feel like I've yacked on for long enough for a first session, but thank you for joining me. Keep following if you feel interested in any of the topics. I'll always put what the topic is in the top line so you can find the ones that are most relevant to you. But I'll see you next time.